We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fire with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.
Welcome to the 510 Huddle. We back again. Just wrapped the season up. My Raiders in the playoffs. D-Lane Raiders in the playoffs. Eagles in the playoffs. If you're a Niner fan, y'all in the playoffs. It's playoff week. Let's get it. How you doing today, D-Lane?
Hey, I'm doing great, man. We play 18, 17 weeks with an added week this season. So we play 18 weeks to get to this point, man. Hey, I'm ready.
No, I'm feeling so good because not only did my Raiders make the playoffs, we made it as a 5th seed, not the sevens just snuck in. The Raiders.
Well, y'all did just sneak in, Zay. Relax.
Hey, whoa. Sneaking in.
I'm talking about the way the game played out. That's what I'm saying. I'm talking about the way the game played out.
We a 10-win team. We're not like the Steelers who had to tie and all this weird shit have to happen. We're a 10-win team, 5 seed, a real playoff team, and I'm taking it, man.
No, I give you that. Zay, stay right there real quick when you say 10-win team. Because I was listening to Middlecoff and them the other day, and I want to see where you at with this. And they was both talking about the Raiders and Niners, and as you see, they both finished 10-7 this year. Ain't that crazy? Both teams finished 10-7, and they just said basically like the Raiders 10-7, like it feels a little more appreciated, like they accomplished a little more because of everything they went through. And I know you on this bandwagon as far as the Niners 10-7, it feels undervalued. It feel like they didn't hit their peak of what they should with the talent on that roster. And it feels like 10-7 this year is similar to just more like the 9-7. Like it doesn't really feel like the 10-6-ish from last year. Or am I tripping? But with the Raiders, it feels legit. I like they 10-7 is basically what I'm saying.
I see. I was just saying like the 10-7 is the new 9-7, and I would agree, right? Because you have that extra game. To me, I just don't like to see 8-8, 7-9, or whatever, right? As long as you're above 500, at least, 2 games above 500, the Raiders 3. No, and I like how you brought that up. Who's 10-7 feels better? And this was the most interesting stat I was looking at. So the Niners had the 24th easiest schedule in the NFL. Outside the Rams, the only winning team they beat was the Bengals all year. And then like the Raiders had the 7th hardest schedule. And the 3rd hardest schedule in the AFC. So, again, we can go down the list all day of people they lost. Even before the season, people lost 2 starting guards. I'm not even going to go down the list. I think the Raiders, what really impressed me most this season was the grit. Doesn't matter what happens, we're going to keep pushing through. We're going to win. And I think the grit shows the type of players, the Carrs, the Mad Maxes, Denzel Perrymans, the people that really brought in, built this foundation, the Josh Jacobs, Colton Miller, Andre James getting better every week, the coaching staff sticking it through. Coach Rich, I think this team really just showed the ultimate grit to push through the playoffs. But yeah, what impressed you most about the Raiders making the playoffs?
Just the fashion in which they made it in. I'm not sure. Do you want to just get into it right now? The game is fast because that was a crazy game, and I think you guys won it in true Raiders fashion. Again, Derek Carr coming up big, making big time clutch throws when you guys needed it most. What's my guy name? Hunter Renfrow. Come on, man, route technician. I love that guy. He was doing this thing, and then the defense showed up. In spurts, because at the end of the game, oh my God, that was some of the worst 3rd and 4th down defense I've ever seen in my life. In my entire life of watching football, the Raiders just presented some of that was good. He was 6 for 6. Justin Herbert in a 4th quarter. At the end of the 4th quarter in OT alone, he was 6 for 6 on 4th downs.
I'm glad you brought that up. And I was talking to another diehard Raider fan, my boy, and it was like that was the only time in my life where I watched a quarterback on my team convert, and I wasn't mad because the throws they were the most perfect throws you ever see in your life.
He was throwing ropes.
That's what I mean. If people running this wide ass open, I'm with you. Every 3rd down, 4th down throw he made. It was 3 quarterbacks can make it.
He was throwing some ropes. He was delivering. Oh my God! You know what? Staley, and we'll have to talk about him later. Oh my, like he's the reason we don't get to see Justin Herbert in the playoffs.
Oh,
Because
I
at
got
the end
some
of that
take for
game,
Staley.
Justin. Oh yeah, I know. But at the end of that game, oh my God, some of the throws Herbert was making, and like so they were all those fourth downs he was converting today. When they was missing on first, second, and third down, I'm like, all right. But when he was throwing it on fourth down, like on those fourth down throws, like I knew he was converting. Just the way he threw it, like he was throwing rope. Like the touchdown he threw to 15 or was it number 5 to tie the game before we all went to overtime when he threw like the deep dig across the middle in the plus 20. Oh my! And I think 35 was covering him, and he lagged off the receiver. But he threw it in a tight window. Still, that was a fucking rope. Oh my! Herbert's legit, man. I'm pissed that we don't get to see him in the playoffs. They underperformed this year for sure, though. As a team, they underperformed the Chargers.
Oh, no, I agree. We'll get to that. We'll get to them in a second.
Yeah, sorry.
No, you good because that's a topic in of his own. But no, Herbert. Every time I watch Herbert, I was just like, when I watch Herbert now, I get the same feeling when I watch Aaron Rodgers, Patrick Mahomes. I say prime rush. Just like not even Josh Allen is consistent with as Herbert is, and he's special. I mean, special. But the biggest thing I took from the Raider game was like I like how you mentioned in spurts. Again, it goes back to the grit. They just never stopped coming. And you see the Chargers have a more talented team. You just look at Bosa and Derwin James. The Raiders
blue chippers. Yeah. They got more blue chippers.
Oh yeah, hands down. I mean, you seen off the edge. I can't pronounce his name. He went to SC Awuza, 42.
Yeah, 42. The 42. Man. Yeah, he a boy. Yeah, he a boy. I like him.
Yeah, and so I think the team, Sante Samuel Jr., really good young corner. Like they got ballers on their team. Not to go through the offense, but again, it all came down to one. That was the first Raider game all year at the Vegas Stadium where it looked like at the Coliseum. This looks different. This is all blacked out. So I think that helped. And I just loved how the defense never quit. And so I mentioned I got a bunch of former Chargers on the defense. There was 2 former Chargers, actually 3, playing the defense. So I think they was playing for a little more.
Hayward got a pick. Hayward, and he got a pick.
Feline, who got hurt, had a sack and a half. He was on the Chargers. And then you also had Teamer, who was starting for, again, Raiders lost their starting safety, Abram. He's been starting for him the last 2 games. And so just overall great performance, grit performance.
Is he out for the playoff game Tuesday, Abram?
No, Abram out for the year, yeah.
Okay. What I will say, though, and I'm going to ask you this as well, like, watching the end of that game, did you feel like either team deserved like to move on? Because I really didn't, like, especially like I said, you know, I'm a defensive back coach, and third down defense is something I hammered home to my guys this year, and I think we finished under 40%. We did pretty good this year as a secondary unit on third down defense. But when I was watching the end of that game, I'm like, man, to be honest, like neither one of these teams like look like they ready to go to the playoffs and be competitive as far as like you got to make key stops and you got to be able to make key throws in the playoffs. We both know that, right?
Yeah, you didn't look at it as 2 teams just doing whatever they could to fight and win to the spot.
I seen it as that too, but like I said, me being a secondary coach, I would be throwing my fit on the sideline and the next day watching that tape if I'm a Raiders defensive back coach. And like the game should have never came to that. Is what I'm saying. Is that you guys blew a lot of coverage. It wasn't like it was wide open. I'm not gonna say it was wide. A lot. He was like we said, tight, not blown coverage. But it was the one I explained earlier. That was a blown coverage. Bro was too lax on him. He was supposed to be tighter on 15 or 5. I can't think of his name that Herbert threw the ball to.
So Mike Williams caught 4 of the 6 fourth down throws.
Come on, but in the other 2 went to 15, I believe. The other 2 and 15 caught a touchdown. 15 or 5? Let me see. I'm gonna look right here. Anyway, but no. Besides that, both. I just feel like the Chargers and the Raiders, they just didn't deserve to go on, bro. The way they was playing at the end of the game. But where I feel like you guys drew a lucky straw at is matchup. And we're gonna get on this later. We're gonna talk about this later, the playoffs. But I feel like you guys drew a good matchup in the first round. Like the way everything played out for y'all, what seed y'all got and the team y'all got, and we're gonna talk about that matchup later. The Bengals, I like how it played out for y'all. Is what I'm saying.
See, I look at it to me like when no one deserves to win is when people just keep turning the ball over, sloppy, completely penalties. I look at it as 2 division rivals were battling out every single drive. There wasn't a lot of penalties throughout the game. I thought it was a really good competitive game, and Herbert, you're not playing Herbert every week. There's only 3 quarterbacks that can make the line throws he makes. Joe Burrow can do a lot. He's not making the throws Herbert can make. And so
Zach, y'all up 12. Y'all up 12 in the fourth. Zach, y'all got to close that, bro. Y'all can't let him come all the way back and tie it. Get the 2-point.
That's my point, D-Lane. There's only a couple quarterbacks that could do that. The Chargers are playing for their life. The whole season on the line. I'm not expecting them to roll over dead. That's all I'm trying to say.
And what I'm saying is, okay, so I understand that, but I'm saying as a Raiders fan, you watching this and saying my team should be in the playoffs. You think that defense, that type of defense, will get it done in the playoffs? The way y'all played defense this past Sunday against the Chargers, you think that type of defense will get it done for y'all in the playoffs?
Again, if we're not playing Justin Herbert or Patrick Mahomes, yes.
Joe Burrow about to eat your ass. We're going to talk about that later. Go ahead.
Yeah, it's going to be snowing, so it's going to be a little different. Snowstorm coming Saturday, baby. But we'll talk about that later. I'll just say this: weeks 12 to 18, the Raiders were third in third down defense, and I think that's what helped change the season around. I just believe Justin Herbert had a great game. I was just looking; this talent is unbelievable, and I wanted to talk about Braylon Staley a little bit. I think that's the only thing holding that Charger team back. The only thing holding that team back. The Raiders had 2 turnovers. They sacked them 5 times. I believe the defense did what they had to do. I mean, you think about it, you had 6 third down stops. They went for it for 7 times on 4th down. 8 times on 4th down. They got 6 of them. And so I just look on 4th. I just look at this team as the Raiders fought harder where they could against a great quarterback. And the only thing to stop that great quarterback was Brandon Staley. And I'm just going to say this. He should have been fired immediately after the game. And I found a word to call coaches that are Brandon Staley's in the NFL. You see it in Power 5 too. It's called the white boy genius syndrome. For some reason, if you just talk well in your press conferences and you know somebody, you're going to be a head coach and people are going to crown you a smart coach. Brandon D-Lane, you have as much coaching experience as Brandon Staley does. He has 5 years of complete coaching experience. And 3 of those years was at Cornell University. So I think Brandon Staley's a joke. I think he's a fraud. And I'm tired of these white boy genius coaches just getting anointed. Right now, if I was a Chargers, I'll fire him right now, hire Brian Flores, and I guarantee a 12-win season. I guarantee a 12-win season.
Ooh, him Staley, and Herbert. Oh yeah, Herbert.
Staley
him masterminding the defense.
He's a worse coach than Anthony Lynn. That's a fact. Brandon Staley is a worse coach than Anthony Lynn. He does nothing well. His team has no fight in it. His team also, I don't know what they are. You have one of the best quarterbacks. People will kill for your quarterback. And this is the craziest part. You have a bottom-ranked run defense and you're a defensive coach, and you have defensive players. And not only that, you got a healthy Derwin James all year, and Derwin James should have had an all-pro year. You didn't make him better. So I'm out on Brandon Staley. I think he's a joke. It's because he's only coaching because the NFL hires what they call white boy geniuses. Kyle Shanahan's a genius. I'm going to get on Kyle in a minute and just talk about their situation. I'm tired of the white boy genius coaches. That's my rant on Brandon Staley. He should be fired today. And he will not make it past 3 years with the Chargers. I'm saying it now. He will not make it past 3 years with the Chargers. That's all I got to say.
No, that's facts. And you kind of hit it on the head right there. Is that when you come in and you bring it, and that's how I know off rip. You said it when you were just talking about Derwin James. That lets me know Staley's a system guy. He believes in his system more than his players, because there's no way you're a brand new coach and you come into a new situation and you got blue chippers, multiple blue chippers on the side of the ball that you're supposed to be an expert in, right? And their game regresses. I'm not sure about Bosa's numbers wise, but we both can agree Derwin James did not have an All-Pro type season like he was before he got hurt and before Staley arrived. How does your blue chippers fall off? No, and then you a bottom ranked defense, bottom ranked run defense, and you got blue chippers on your defense. That makes no sense to me.
I'm gonna double down, D-Lane.
Shit, Robert Saleh was doing it in San Francisco with one blue chipper and Bosa. The rest was just good, solid players, mainly the front 7, but they still had a top 10 defense with no corners.
No, in fact, let me double down. Right now, if there was a coaching hire offseason, I would take Gus Bradley over Brandon Staley. I know what Derwin James did with Gus Bradley. Shit, Gus Bradley showed up and said, hey, we got the 20th ranked defense this year. First time the Raiders have the 20th ranked defense in 2004. That's what Gus Bradley did. No, he didn't bring in the top 10. Hey, I saw Mad Max have a career year. Yannick had a career year. Denzel Perryman, who came from the Chargers, had 156 tackles, broke the record, Pro Bowler. So I seen one defensive coach leave the Chargers, and let's be honest here, the Raiders have one blue chipper on defense. We have one. His name is Mad Max. Everyone else on their best day is a B player. On their best day, no disrespect to Casey Hayward, Denzel.
I like your boy in the back end too. Though Morrig, I think had like a
He's
top
a rookie.
2, top.
Nate Hobbs
No, I'm saying for a rookie. I think he had like a top 3 season as a DB for the rookies.
No,
great wise. I think I seen that on PFF.
No, I agree. And this is not to Gus Bradley's a top defensive coach. No, he's a respected defensive coach in the NFL, and his unit performed better than Staley's unit with more blue chippers. And if the Raiders today, this is no disrespect to Carr, he's a Raider. If the Chargers said, do you want Justin Herbert for Derek Carr? Carr would be on the private jet to LA immediately. So That's my problem with Brandon Staley. Fraud. And it's nice to be a white boy, and it's nice to be smart, like the media says, whatever that smart means. And you know what else is nice? If you coach for another white boy genius, Sean McVay, I'll call him a white boy genius because he has a winning record as a coach, never had a losing record. He coached for him. Got a head coaching job next year. So that's my last piece on Brandon Staley. Fraud. And I'm sorry for Justin Herbert and that team because they have the talent to be the number 1 seed in the AFC. So that's my last point.
And at bare minimum, I feel like they should be where the Bengals are at. Somewhere in that mix, right there.
Bare minimum.
Minimum.
Because if you look at the talent, I mean, the Bengals and Chargers very equal in talent. Very
equal. And I believe the Chargers might have a little more talent on the defensive side. Offense is about equal, but on the defensive side, the Chargers, without a doubt, have more blue chippers.
No, facts. Because you know why? This is always how I know if your defense raw. I cannot name you the Bengals starting linebackers. Another thing, hey, we're going to talk about them in a second. Can you name me one Rams starting linebacker?
Floyd, but he's like outside.
No, not edge, inside. No wonder they got their ass ran all over him. But I'm gonna leave my last point on the Raiders, and we'll move on to Niners. Hell of a job. All I gotta say is hell of a job. Won 4 straight. Beat tough teams. Beat the Colts. Oh, I don't know if they tough team. Beat the Colts and Chargers. Ended off. Shout out to that Raider team, and shout out to all those players on the team that stuck together and wrote it out through everything. Shout out to that team. So they got
to tip your hat to them guys, man. They persevered through a lot this season.
And last thing, because I've taken a lot of heat, Josh Jacobs took over the last 3 weeks.
Beast mode. He was running that ball hard late in the game.
Took over the last.
I was like, just feed. Yeah, I was like, just feed Josh. He was running that ball hard last.
He looked like his rookie year. Oh, shout out to him. Any last comments?
Josh might have just had a. I played running back before. Sometimes, especially if you just come in the season out of shape, sometimes you gotta just run yourself into shape, bro. Throughout the season, and he was getting nicked here and there early on in the season. He probably just had to work his way back into shape the last few weeks.
When you running hurt as a running back, does it feel like you wincing every single time you go through the hole? Not wincing, but it's like fuck every single time you go through the hole.
It's not that every single time you go through the hole, but it starts to feel like that once them carries start going up. Once you get to 10, it's third quarter. Now you at around 15, 18. It's fourth quarter. You creeping 20 plus. Like, come on. Like, yeah, you start feeling like, fuck, man, you feel me? Unless you break it through. Unless you break it through and, like, you having a big game where you constantly get to the second level. But if you got a few stops where, they hitting your ass, then you're going to feel it.
No, that makes sense. Josh made a good point. He said a quote in his presser. He's like, I felt like the last few weeks I've been able to be a closer now. So that's probably with him being healthy, like you just said.
Yeah.
Let's hop on to the Niners though. Another 10-win season. Kyle now is 38-41 as a head coach and made the playoffs for the second time. Shout out to them. Not only are they in the playoffs, they're the 6th seed. They get to play the Cowboys. But before we deep dive into their game, how do you feel about the Niners 2021 season overall?
A team that underperformed. not by far margin, but just didn't hit their peaks that they should have with that amount of talent on the team. But hey, man, like we say, this is like March Madness. You just got to punch your ticket into the dance.
Mm-hmm.
And I believe the Niners are as dangerous as anybody in the playoffs, especially coming out the NFC. And just like I said for your Raiders earlier, they played a dramatic game as well that went down to the wire with them and the Rams. They come out victorious. And just by the luck of God for the Niners, they draw a favorable matchup as well to me. And we're going to talk about it later. But I love that matchup about the Cowboys. Oh, my God. I can't wait to talk about that later. We're going to talk about the playoff games in a second. But I love that matchup that they drew, Zach.
Yeah, I got a little different view on the matchup, but
All right, we'll get to
I'm
that.
with you.
Yeah.
I'm with you on they underachieved just based off the talent. We look at a lot of teams in the playoffs. Like I'm just looking at the NFC. I believe the outside of the Cowboys, the Bucks, and Packers, it's undebatable. They're top 5 team in talent in the NFL. Expect NFC top 3 in talent, and not only that, their core players stayed healthy all year. Outside of Kittle, missed 2-3 games. Their rookie quarterback, top 3 pick, played a couple games, so they stayed healthy for most of the year. And they were a team that was they only had one COVID case all year, so COVID didn't affect them. So a lot of things just went their way this year, and they only found a way to win 10 games. And I like how you mentioned it. It's 10-7 to 9-7, more than likely, right? And they only had 3 wins against winning teams. That is alarming to me. That is really alarming. And every
Two of
time
them came from the same team.
the same team, and I'm gonna talk a little bit about right now about the game with the Rams. So to me, it was underwhelming, and it was just the highs and lows. I don't want to discredit. This was a great win at the Rams, but they own the Rams, right? I was thinking, I picked the Niners to win Week 18. I was no way in hell they're going to beat the Rams. I mean, the Rams going to beat the Niners. It's the 6 in a row. And so to me, it was really underachieving. And to me, I'm not sure what the Niners' plan was because let's say Jimmy goes on a run, you just let him go after this season? So I'm a little confused. I feel like they never fully committed to Trey Lance. And I feel like we're not the end of this Trey Lance saga because I think he showed enough to he's splash plays and progress. All these other teams with the rookie quarterbacks have committed to their quarterbacks. And with a roster this loaded, I feel like you could have won 8 to 10 games with Trey Lance as well. And on top of it, he would develop. So coming in the next season, humming. But that's a different story. Overall, I think they underachieved.
Zay, you still on this, bro? I text you during the game. There's no way in hell. And I got to the point where, especially after last week, I seen him play a little bit. I like the kid, and I told you he got high upside. I can't wait to see him become a starter for real. But you honestly think he could have led them back and won that game like Jimmy G did? They were down 17-3 at halftime. 2-8, and this is not the Texans, by the way, with the team that Trey. Hold on, this is not the team that he came back on the week before. This is the Los Angeles Rams with blue chippers on their defense, Hall of Fame generational talent on that defense. Zay, there's no way in hell Trey they would have been in that same position with Trey Lance. They would have lost that game. They would have been out the playoffs, bro.
Let's take a step back. Let's take a step back. The Rams don't have a top 10 defense, so let's not blow them out.
It don't matter. They still got blue chippers. Let me say, talent.
I like to count. What I do is with this, especially with the Niners offense, I like to see how many tight window throws were made through the game. Like, wow, you got to have a guy that can make those tight window throws.
He threw one nice against Ramsey.
Yeah, whoa. Jimmy had 2 tight window throws the whole game. 2. The rest were layup throws that any quarterback that can play in the NFL would make, right? And then let's remember, he still had 2 turnovers. He's fumbling the ball, right?
Yeah,
I want you to remember. Whoa. Look at Jalen Hurts. Let's go back. Would you judge Jalen Hurts off his second start versus his 16th start? So we have to remember, Trey Lance would have got better week over week over week. We don't know how he'll look late in the season. And isn't that the whole point you traded all these picks for? And now the clock is stopped. Let's say if Trey Lance is the guy, you have 2 years with him, then the contract you pay $50 million a year is over. So they have a 2-year window right now with Trey Lance instead of a 3-year window. So that was my point. And with Jimmy, everyone acts like this man he's not making tight window throws. I watched 2 completely games. the one drive, the Niners ran the ball the entire drive. They had 9 run plays and ended in a touchdown. So I'm not watching. One of the touchdown passes to Juan Jennings was thrown by Debo. The Niners, this is the best stat I love. The Niners led the league by almost 1,000 yards in after the catch yardage. So that means Jimmy G only threw for a true 2,000 yards this season. Everything else came after the catch. I like to watch the games.
Zay, you can't don't do that.
Okay.
Zay,
he leads the league.
Game, we had a whole segment earlier this year where we talked about how explosive the receivers are in today's games. 9 times out of 10, most of these guys are catch after yards.
Okay.
Yards at the catch.
I agree. Well, the Niners lead. The Niners lead yards to catch. The Niners quarterbacks have thrown the least amount of air yards in the NFL. That means that David Mills have thrown for more air yards than Jimmy G and the quarterbacks there. That shows
because he's probably just throwing fake. The Cooks had another 1,000-yard season.
Okay, that's my point.
He's just a deep field threat. So he's
the offense isn't complicated. If you're running the ball and it's layup throws, you play your rookie quarterback. That's my point. I'm down on that.
But they wouldn't be in the same position. They wouldn't be in the same position.
We don't know that. We don't know that.
I know that for a fact.
How? For a fact? How
we just seen him. We just seen him miss throws the week. We just
seen him as a quarterback
the week before against the Texans.
He's 1-1 as a quarterback. And they blew out the Texans. Biggest win of the year with Trey Lance. Their biggest win of the year came with Trey Lance at quarterback.
So I'll give you this early. You said 2 points early on Jimmy. Let me go back to Jimmy. You're right. But first of all, before I hit Jimmy, was this game versus the Rams not a playoff-like game? Was this not a playoff atmosphere type game? Even though I know they own the game, own the Rams, was that not a playoff game?
It was.
Thank you. Second thing, Jimmy, like you're now on the Jimmy. You hit 2 points earlier. One you're correct about, right? Jimmy turned the ball over twice in that game. What can you not do in the playoffs that get your ass beat quick?
Turn the ball over.
Cannot turn the ball over. I give him that. But what did we also say earlier? Is that when you said he made 2 throws, right? What do we religiously say for the playoffs in the Super Bowl specifically? It comes down, every game comes down to 1 and 2 throws made. The old quarterback got to be. That's why he lost the Super Bowl when he was with Kyle 2 seasons ago. He didn't hit the Emmanuel Sanders deep. He just missed them. He made the 2 throws this past.
Trey Lance made those exact same throws. I just seen him make them. I just saw him make them.
Texans, not against. He just made that throw to Debo on Jalen Ramsey, a Hall of Fame talent. I can't say, and you can't say that you think Trey can make that same throw. You just can't do that, Zay. That we can't. No, not against the Texans, Zay. Against the damn Texans, Zay. Stop it. And say lastly, Jimmy G's career record is 45-18. He's damn near completing 70% of his passes throughout his career. 71 touchdowns and 38 interceptions. Trey Lance ass can sit down behind that. I'm sorry, I've just seen Jimmy's record. Now I see what Vic was telling me about. Jimmy's a winner, bro. He's been in the Super Bowl. He got to sit. They're gonna treat him like Jordan Love. He's gonna sit down for next year. He might sit down all the next year as well, and I won't be mad. Jimmy is 45-18. Would you not take that? Most quarterbacks. No. Wow.
Because I believe in it's something I believe in.
He's played 63 career games.
Who else has a whoa. I don't oh my God. This is why I like watching the tape. I don't know what the fuck about your record is. You know who else has a winning record? Osweiler.
Now you don't care about record?
No. Record. Time out. Record plus stats plus the tape equals what you are. That's a fact.
We don't give a damn about them stats if you getting a W. Nobody gave a damn about him.
Okay.
Tebow Mania, they didn't give a damn about Tebow. He was nationally known, Tebow Mania, because he was winning games.
Jimmy G has never had a season where he won when shit wasn't going his way. I want to know what Jimmy G looks like.
What quarterback?
Whoa. When they had a winning in 2019 when they had a winning season, they had the number 3rd ranked defense and number 1 in turnovers. This year they had their 2nd winning season. They have the 5th ranked defense in NFL and lead the league in sacks. So
what did Eli have? I can win with that. His 2 Super Bowls. What did Eli have for his 2 Super Bowls when his teams was 9-7?
Whoa. Every now we're comparing Jimmy G to a 2-time winning quarterback. 2 Super Bowls. I'm comparing Jimmy G to
any winning quarterback, saying, of course, the situation around
Jimmy's not a winning quarterback like Eli. Why you can't say Eli Manning, 2-time Super Bowl champ, who beat the 16-0 Patriots?
I was using it as an example, comparing him to winning quarterbacks. And I'm saying whenever you win in this league, yes, your situation has to be right. Like you just name me a quarterback.
If he's a winner, why they draft Trey Lance? If he's a winner, why they trade and 2 first-round picks for Trey Lance if is that guy. He's a winning quarterback.
Me specifically, I believe they got tired of his turnover woes and his injury problems because he can be injured. But like I said, you're a numbers guy. You give me the percentage. I don't know the percentage on this. But what's his winning percentage? That he's played 63 career games and he's won 45. I know it's like high 60s or damn near 70%, isn't it?
Okay,
he's 71.
So since he's a winner,
I'm looking at it right now.
Since you're just hyped on Jimmy G would have took this Raider team to the playoffs. Jimmy G would have took the same Raider team to the playoffs if they switched.
No, because he don't got the backbone that Derek Carr got. I'll say that. And why?
But he's a winner.
Derek
Carr is a winner. Derek Carr doesn't have a winning record.
Zay, we could also say, what's his name? I'm blanking out. Hasselbeck. Dilfer. We could say Trent Dilfer's a winner. But what did he play? What was the situation around him? He played for the best defense ever. Arguably, the best.
No one says Trent Dilfer's a winner.
Ever. I'm saying for that year, and he can say that for the rest of his life. He's a Super Bowl championship quarterback. He can say that for the rest of the. You can never take that from him. So yes, he is a winner at the end of the day.
So that
probably not a career one. What?
Hey, the Eagles should just stuck with Nick Foles. Then they still should have had him. He's a winner. Why isn't Nick Foles starting over Andy Dalton?
He's been on multiple franchises and haven't won games. Jimmy G's has been on multiple franchises and won games. Tom Brady was out. He won 4-2.
He didn't go 4-2. He got hurt, bro.
3.
He won 2 games.
Brissett came in.
Yeah, right. Don't forget the black boy. Let's not forget our black quarterbacks out here. But all I want to say is, Jimmy G, hey, it's nice. It's nice.
My bad. Go ahead.
I don't give quarterbacks credit when you won a playoff game throwing 7 times, when you can go on drives and you have the number 1 rush offense and a top 5 defense. It's hard to lose.
We didn't see Brady win.
All I want to say is it's hard to lose. You said what?
Now you just say you can't give a quarterback credit for winning a game throwing the ball 7 times. What did Mac Jones do this year? What has Tom Brady done in his past? Great quarterbacks, they play however the game shapes out. Brady's won Super Bowls. Brady's won Super Bowls throwing the ball fucking 15, 16 times. That first Super Bowl.
Whoa. So now we're comparing Jimmy to Tom. So we're comparing.
He did play with Tom. I'm just talking about situations around him.
You're talking about 22-year-old Tom. We're talking about 31-year-old Jimmy Garoppolo. So you're saying 22-year-old Tom. You're right. 22-year-old Tom won some games. You're right.
This is one game. All right. And all I'm saying is, in conclusion, all that hyping up Jimmy I was just doing, it wasn't because I'm on Jimmy bandwagon. I'm just saying, I said all that to say I don't believe the Niners will be in the same position with Trey Lance. I've seen enough from both of them. Even though I would like to see more from Trey, I've seen enough for my liking. I don't believe they'd be in the same position with with Trey Lance if he was starting all year over Jimmy G.
That means Trey Lance is god awful, and the Niners have a huge problem. So I agree. If that's the case, the Niners have a huge problem, and they fucked up the pick.
How when your rookie quarterback is learning behind the win, that you keep treating Jimmy like he a bum. I felt like that after the Super Bowl 2 years ago. I did because he pissed me off. He looked bad. He's not a bum. Zay. He's 40. Right. He's played 63 career games and won 45. So what is it?
Hey, this is all I got to say. When I watch him, no. When I watch him, it's very obvious. 2019 season and 21 season, they're making the playoffs. Both years, they had the top 10 easiest schedules. Both years, they had a number 1 rush offense and a top 5 defense. It's hard not to make the playoffs. Actually, I saw a stat. No team in NFL history has not made the playoffs with number 1 rush offense and top 5 defense. So therefore, no one has ever not made the playoffs. So of course, and yes, he also does not throw the ball to win games. And you said to Tom, well, Tom won the games with his arm constantly. You're talking about early on Tom? Fine, talk about 22-year-old Tom.
Okay, so Zay,
he's 31 years old. He's 31. He's the same age as Derek Carr.
Okay, they win the way they win. You play who's in front of you. You got to control what you can control.
So Trey Lance can't do that? Trey Lance could have done what Mac Jones did this year?
What, in that situation with the...
Yeah. We'll say Mac Jones and Trey Lance had the best rookie situations. We're agreed, right? So Trey Lance could have done what the Patriots did?
With the Patriots?
No, with the Niners. I mean, they're both loaded teams, and Kyle's a good coach, right? So why couldn't Trey Lance?
They're not both loaded teams. I believe the Niners have better talent than the Patriots. I believe Bill just did a great coaching job. Me personally.
No, I agree, but we'll just say Mac Jones and Trey Lance had the best situation on paper, correct?
At the end of the day, I'm saying Jimmy has a proven record of winning, regardless of how he gets it done. And if you got a young quarterback and you got a guy that's in front of him, as long as he's winning, and even if he's winning and turning the ball over, which Jimmy does, he can learn from that. Is what I'm trying to tell you. Trey can sit back and like, we're still winning games. I can't do that though, or I can't do this. Like he's not sitting behind a bum and not learning nothing. Is what I'm saying. Hey, that's all I'm saying. At the end of the day.
I can't wait to see Jimmy G not in a perfect situation so we can stop ever talking about him. Jimmy G is a bum. Again, he's lucky. He got to play with the Patriots and be with a loaded team with Tom. Then he got to go to the Niners, and he's never played with not a good defense and not a top rushing game. So, again, it's better to be lucky than good.
Like I said, name me a QB that's been far. Name me a QB that's been far without a good situation around him. It's only a few. And the only ones I can think of is Tom Payton that made.
Tom superstar. Tom Payton, Patrick Mahomes, every quarterback that
we can't say that about Pat yet. We can't say that about Pat. I'm talking about guys that because I'm going to tell you what my definition of that is. What we're talking about. I'm talking about a quarterback that could take a guy off the street and make him look like a superstar guy. That's what Tom did that throughout his career with the Patriots, and Payton did that throughout his career in Indy.
So you say Jimmy G's a star?
I'm not saying that. When you brought up Pat, the started naming quarterback, I was like, Pat played with Ty Hill his whole career. Ty Hill's been arguably the fastest player, most explosive player since Pat's been in the league. He's played with Kelsey, arguably the best tight end since he's been in the league. I'm not knocking him, and I'm not saying he couldn't do it with other people. Now I'm just going back to what you like to say. We just haven't seen it.
You're right. Hey, you're right. Fuck it. Hey, Chiefs might be winning just as many games with Jimmy G at quarterback. All the quarterbacks replaceable. Now is what you're saying.
Oh my God!
If you got a run game and defense, it doesn't matter who your quarterback is. It's college football all over. You just got a run game defense, you're gonna win. That's what I'm hearing. The way you're hyping up Jimmy G. All right, so is he a top 15 quarterback?
Run game.
Is he a top 15 quarterback? Is Jimmy Garoppolo top 15?
Probably not no more with the new influx of the young talent. I like some of the younger talent. I would take the Burrows. I would take the Herberts before him.
Everyone would. Well, that's not even a debate.
Yeah. I'm saying those are 1-2 year guys. Those are young guys. So, yeah.
I just say if your quarterback isn't top 12, you sit his ass and you move the fuck on. There we go. That's my comment on Jimmy G.
Like I said, every quarterback ain't got a 70% career winning percentage. That's all I'm gonna say, man. 70%.
And I'm gonna leave it. This is my last point too.
A lot of quarterbacks.
If Trey wasn't, I wonder how Trey would have been treated if he wasn't black. That's all I got to say. Because everyone got like he got to sit, but none of these other quarterbacks got to sit. So that's my point with that.
Justin, guys in worse situations than Trey says, eh?
Yeah, Justin sat and his coach got fired, so he gone. So here we go.
They make the playoffs. Trey coach didn't get fired because they made the playoffs.
What? So the Bears would have made the playoffs with Andy Dalton all year? Come on now. No. That's what I'm trying to say. But hey, before we move on. Last point before we move on. Last point before we move on. And I'm really, really curious about your answer. When their career is said and done, Andy Dalton or Jimmy Garoppolo?
Jimmy G, easy. What kind of question is that? I thought you was going to ask me something else. I thought you was going to ask me when it's all said and done, career winning percentage out of Trey Lance and Jimmy.
Well, only reason I asked because Andy Dalton has a career. He has a career winning percentage and went to 4 Pro Bowls. Jimmy's never been a Pro Bowl. That's why I asked. That's all.
Okay, but what's his win? Hold on, let me see.
He's 77 and 69. 77, 69. Way more games. They're the same age too. So.
Well, shit. But first of all, that's not fair, Zay. Andy Dalton started right away. We know who Jimmy was behind.
But Jimmy's better. Hey, Jimmy's better career. So I'm taking Andy Dalton for career. Not obviously Andy's career to me is over. He's a backup guy. But from 2011 to 2016, he did his thing. Had years of 30 touchdown passes, 3 Pro Bowls.
No,
Jimmy's never a Pro Bowl. So, and he has a winning record. So, and it's with the Bengals at that.
He's played in 3 Pro Bowls.
Yeah, 3 Pro Bowls. Jimmy doesn't have one, and he's 31 years old.
I don't think his win percentage. I don't think his win percentage is as high as Jimmy's. I'm looking at it.
Because more games. He's played in 151 games, and he's won 77.
Exactly, and he wasn't sitting behind. That goes back to my point. I keep telling your ass, all situations ain't the same. Same way, all turnovers, all interceptions aren't created the same.
But you said you'll take Jimmy G.
He sat behind. I would. I personally would. I'll take a guy that sat behind and go for a couple years, learn, and now got a 70% winning percentage and been in the Super Bowl. Versus a guy that gets to the playoffs every year and lost every time he was there.
I'm not taking a guy he's never finished the season. So I'm not taking a guy that's never finished the season. Jimmy Garoppolo had 20 touchdown passes, 12 picks. His best season ever.
He finished this season and the season they went to the Super Bowl. What are you talking about?
What do you mean? He missed 3 games this year.
He finished the season as the starter this year.
Hurt. That's what I'm trying to say. If Jimmy G's your quarterback, you have to have a backup. If Jimmy G's your quarterback, you have to have a backup. That's a fact.
You gotta have you can't just say that. Zach. We know for a fact across the league you gotta have a backup regardless.
Oh, I love that you said that. No. I love that you said that. Lane. I love that you said that. No, I love that you said that. No. I love that you said that. Tom Brady has only missed 1 season in his 27th career. That's not unless I'm gonna name another guy.
You just named the
Whoa. Derek Carr is 8 years. 8 years.
Mariota, your Raider fans just last year was asking for Mariota to start over him. What are you talking about?
But I'm talking injuries, Lane. We're talking strictly injuries. Derek Carr has missed.
Okay, but I'm just saying, y'all. Every team invests in a backup quarterback. That's all I'm saying. The Ravens do. I bet you the Ravens re-sign Huntley this offseason.
They have to because Lamar is a running quarterback.
And you exactly, which makes you, regardless of your quarterback.
My whole point is, Jimmy is always hurt every year. He has never had a season where he did not miss a game. That's all I'm saying. But hey, you're taking him over.
Andy Dalton's win percentage is 62. He played 147 games.
Way more games. Bigger sample size.
Taking Jimmy.
Taking Jimmy. That's. Oh my God, I can't. Jimmy. But hey,
his pass completion. Jimmy's completion percentage for his career is almost 70. Andy Dalton's is almost 60. Get out of here, Zay. Stop it.
And the man played 2 seasons.
And
that's
Jimmy
2
has
seasons of data. D-Lane, that's 2 seasons of data.
Jimmy has a bigger, higher passer rating throughout his career.
So wait, D-Lane, you're taking 2 seasons. So D-Lane, Jimmy Garoppolo.
That's how much he played, right? He was behind the GOAT before that.
And then he was out. Well, so what happened? You know, he's been with the Niners for 5 years, D-Lane.
Okay, regardless, he was sitting behind. He didn't start right away, is what I'm saying, like Andy did. Andy started right away, which means he had a head start. That means
why in 5 years he only has 2 seasons? Why in 5 years he only has 2 seasons of data? I mean, why in 5 seasons he only played 2?
He finished 2, right? He played other seasons. Stop doing that.
No, I'm looking at his stats right now. He does not have a single 2014. 0 games. Oh, here we go.
He's sitting behind the goal. Why are you doing that? You're not making no sense.
2017, 5 games. 2018, he plays 3. 2019, he plays a full season. 2020, he plays 6. 2021, he plays 14. So you're giving me data off 2 full seasons. And you're just knowing.
This is 4th season with the Niners. He's been hurt twice. And he's played 2 full seasons. The 2 full seasons, he's a winner. It's that simple. When he's healthy, he's a winner. It's that simple.
We just.
And that's what a lot of guys.
Okay, name me another guy in Jimmy's situation where he gets to be game manager. Name me another guy that used to be like game manager. Name me one. I'm
guys don't have the. I'll tell you one right now. Jalen Hurts, game managers. We run the ball and we play stout defense. And he game.
I love what you said that. So that means Jimmy G, would be better on this team than the Eagles. Hurts on the Eagles.
You said what?
So that means Jimmy G would make the Eagles better than Jalen Hurts.
As a passing team, he might make Devontae better, of course. Yes.
You think? But Jalen Hurts had way more passing yards than him. And it wasn't even close.
He didn't.
He had 1,400 passing yards. Yeah, he had 1,400 passing yards.
No, he had you. That's his total yards together. Zay. Jalen Hurts did not have those 4,200 passing yards. We led the NFL in rushing. Zay.
Right here.
That's his combined yards. That's his combined.
He led the team in rushing because Jalen Hurts that boy and a leader. And
No, we were running team. He threw for 3,100 yards. He threw 16 touchdowns this year. Zay. Stop it. Come on, man. Stop it. Told you, I still ain't seen enough from that. That's a whole nother conversation.
I'm taking Jalen Hurts all day. Winning record for his career. There we go.
Here goes. All right, then.
He's played 19 games in his career.
He played 3 games last year, and he was on pace to have more sacks and more turnovers than Carson did throughout that terrible season Carson had last year.
He was a rookie quarterback. What do you expect? You putting the same pressure on Jalen Hurts as a 31-year-old. That's crazy.
Man, let's move on, man. We didn't spend too much time on Jimmy G.
I just can't believe the hype Jimmy G getting from
70% win complete. Hey,
this
some quarterbacks don't finish their career with that.
This is my last stat with Jimmy G. No quarterback has more touchdown drives since he entered the league without throwing a pass. Here we go. Next topic. I can hand that ball off too, Lane. We got to touch on the Colts real quick before we go into the most exciting playoff matchup. I'm just going to say, should someone be fired? Or is this what they get for trading for Carson Wentz?
Yeah, I think it's more so that's just what they get, man. You know, that was all on Carson. I was watching. But that was all on, you know what? I can't say that was all on Carson. It was 50% on Carson and 50% on Frank Wright. Because why the hell does Jonathan Taylor finish the game with 15 carries? That man should have had 20 plus, 30 plus carries, especially once you got behind and you realize. See, we had this conversation a few times on this podcast, about guys being committed to the run. I'm not sure the exact score, but they were for sure down at halftime. They were down the whole game against Jacksonville. Never got back to the run game. They wanted to start throwing the ball with Carson. Carson had a pick, and he had a fumble for a loss in the second half. What was Kyle the Niners down at halftime? 17-3. And what did he do in the second half of the game, Zach? Came out and ran the football. He still ran it. That's what I mean when you're committed to the run. Even when you're down, you still need to be committed to the run or committed to whatever your identity is. So that's what I mean that's what I mean when I say that's staying true to your identity. If you're a running team, Jonathan Taylor got y'all this far. He damn near ran y'all into. If I'm Jonathan Taylor, coach got to see me, or we got to have a discussion the next day. Damn near probably right after the game. Like, how I didn't finish this game with 30 touches. That makes no sense to me. So I think it's more so 50% blame on both the QB and the coach.
Yeah, someone can be let go. I don't know. I'm just
Frank might be one of them guys. Like, he had a couple. He had some good moments here and there with the coach, but he might just end up being one of those guys that's a better OC than the head coach.
Yeah, I just like to call out people that just get anointed. Like, people get anointed so fast in NFL, especially if you white. It's just great. Like Chris Baller, best GM. I even said, "Oh, great GM." We'll sell some shit for it. You can't find a quarterback. Someone said if you can't find a quarterback, you shouldn't be in your job. That's the number one thing you need to find in NFL. You trade all that for Carson Wentz, and then you have to eat a salary cap next year. This is more than to me. This is more on Ballard. All right, whoever agreed for the call, maybe if it was Rich that said, "Hey, I believe I can help Carson." Someone needs held accountable. And if y'all don't win a playoff game next year, one of y'all two got to go. Carson, to me, let's be honest. He only got another shot because, white quarterback, strong arm. He wasn't a locker room guy. Remember I was a big Carson Wentz fan. People have to remember this. Yeah. I was like the last person on his on his bandwagon. And remember, I kept holding out. The moment I said Eagles players were, did not lost respect for Carson in the locker room, I was like, you cannot have a quarterback in NFL that cannot lead men. What happened late in this season when it was nut cutting time? They could have sealed the playoff win against the Raiders at home. They lost that, right? They could have sealed it against your whole season's on the line against the Jacksonville Jaguars. So when it's nut cutting time, they do not show up. They did not show up with their leader at the helm was Carson Wentz. Who picked that leader at the helm? That's who the problem is. We know what Carson Wentz is, and it's funny because it's like. That's why I give Doug Pearson so much credit, because he handled all that bullshit and still found a way to win a ring and be successful. And so I just look at it as Baller or Wright, whoever made the call to trade Carson Wentz and then take on that huge contract. It's their fault, right? And it's crazy enough. I think, and this is a situation, and you're probably going to fall out your chair when I say this. They would have looked a little better with Jimmy G. Because
The
Jimmy G they would have handed that motherfucking ball off all second half.
And I ain't gonna fall out because you're right. He would have checked to a run. Jimmy probably would have checked to the runs.
Yeah, one thing I would say about Jimmy, if you need to check into a run, he's your guy. You need a quick slant pass, he's your guy.
No,
hey, under 10 handing that ball off, you're good. And it's crazy. The Colts, to me, the Colts were literally just the AFC version of the Niners. Literally the AFC version of the Niners. They don't have a hole. Yeah. And all they know is we don't walk in every game with a top 12 quarterback. We don't have that, but we got everything else. And they couldn't find a way to make the playoffs. So I'll say this. If I'm an owner and they said they had a meeting to end the season off, hey, one of y'all gone if we don't win the playoff game next year. Have a great offseason. That's it. Close my door.
Right. No, I'll take that. I like that.
Let's hop into these playoff matchups real quick before we end it off. And before we hop in there, shout out Mike Tomlin, the GOAT. That's all I got to say. He just keeps on doing it. Real quick, Vrabel or your coach for Coach of the Year?
I'm gonna give it the variable just because of the injuries. Derrick Henry being out most of the year, AJ Brown, Julio being in and out, and still being able to lock the 1 seed up. I remember a few weeks ago when Derrick went down. I came right on this podcast. I believe I said they were finished. I couldn't even envision them still making it to the playoffs. I thought they were done, or probably just being a low seed. But for him still to lock up the number 1 seed, I got to tip my hat to him.
I agree with you. If the Eagles beat the Bucs Sunday, you give it to Serotonin. I'm gonna get his name.
Sirianni. But it's a regular season award. They shouldn't do it like that. But if he did, I would say he should get some more votes though, because that'd be a big upset for sure.
Man, but no, and I think he should definitely get some votes and be right there. But just like you said, Mike, and he got the number 1 seed. That's no one before the season was saying that, even with the healthy Derrick Henry. So shout out to him.
Fresh Derrick Henry coming back after the bye.
Oh, man, if the Raiders win, we got to deal with his ass. All right, here we go. Playoff matchups. Let's run through it. Raiders, Bengals, 1:30 kickoff PST time. Who you got?
This one is tough. Even though I said I like you guys, like I feel like you drew a favorable matchup. It's definitely a winnable game. I'm just gonna go with the quarterback that I believe will make the bigger throws at the key moments, and for me, I'm gonna go with Joe Burrow.
I'm with you. It says it's supposed to be a snowstorm, but I believe, and the Bengals have given up the most sacks, but I believe they have more talent right now. T. Higgins, Boyd, and Chase is a lot to deal with. Not counting their tight end Umza. You have to remember, Raiders played the Bengals this year. It was close in the first half, and then the Bengals took over in a blowout fashion second half, and that was at home with the Raiders. I think it's going to be a close game, way closer than a lot of people think. I think the Bengals sneak it out. But I will say this, a Raider fan misses to me. Older Raider fans are calling this the revenge game, and I was confused. Like, how is this a revenge game? I didn't know the Bengals are the ones that ended Bo Jackson's career. And so, a lot of people are calling this. And another funny stat, the Cincinnati Bengals have not won a playoff game while text messaging has been around. Right?
Yeah, or social media.
They said there's never been a text message sent about a Bengal playoff win. The first text message was sent in 92. So a lot of weird stuff with the Bengals. I think it could be a weird OT game, whatever. I'm excited. I think it might be one of the best games of the weekend. Any points before we move on to the next game?
I was just going to say, as far as weather, I think that actually favors Cincy because Derek Carr is a California guy, California quarterback. Burrow, he's from the area, played for Ohio, played in hurricane weather down there for LSU. I think the weather actually favors Joe Burrow and crew.
I would agree, except the Raiders are 2-0 on their last snow games. And the only reason, that's great logic. I just feel like the snow, I'm more worried about
neutralize the pass game.
Those three.
I got you. Joe can get off too now. Don't sleep on Joe, man. Joe can get off.
I just feel like with the snow, weird stuff can happen. Slips, all type of stuff.
So do you believe Jacobs got to have a big game for y'all to have action?
Okay, let me take this back. The Raiders going to come. Everything got to be rolling. Run game, special teams, defense. It's going to take all phases to win this game. The Raiders going to have to play one of their best games of the year. But with the snow, Like I said, you rather be lucky than good. Weird stuff can happen with the snow.
Gotcha.
Next game we got Patriots Bills, which is another snow game actually. Who you got? 6 o'clock game Saturday night.
Ooh, it's a good one. They both split, but I'm gonna just go with the better. And I love the Patriots. I feel like they didn't draw a favorable matchup because I feel like they both got stout defenses, but the Bills are slightly better, and they got more of an MVP caliber type quarterback that's primed and ready right now. Josh Allen over the rookie quarterback Mac Jones. I think it's really that simple. Even though they got the better coach and Bill Belichick, I'm gonna go with the Bills, the better quarterback and the better defense.
Upset pick. I'm going with playoff Bill in the snow. Matt Jones, that defense walking in the Bills and beat them last time like they did in the snow in the regular season. I can't pick Bill to lose this game. He hasn't been in the playoffs in a year. He hasn't slept. I believe Patriots by a game-winning field goal. Hell of a game, though.
Okay.
My upset pick.
I like it.
Matchup-wise, just matchups.
Yeah.
If it was the Rams-Niners, I'm picking the Niners in the playoffs. But now we got Sunday games. Yo Eagles kicking us off at the 10 a.m. game against the Bucks. Who you rolling with?
We got smoke for Brady. We got smoke for Brady, man. We coming. That's all I'm gonna say. We coming. We got smoke for Brady. They injured. We got the number one rushing attack. They defense is not as stout as they was the year before. And Goddard has to have a big game. Our tight end has to have a big game. We got to have Miles Sanders back. Even if we don't, though, we're about 3-4 deep at running back. We got some guys. Scott got off this year for his Huntley, Gainwell. So we got weapons back there. And I think the other thing that we have to utilize to our advantage is Jalen Hurts' legs. Because where is Tampa stout at? Right down the middle with the two guys at backer with White and with Levante David, and then you got Vay right down the middle. Where we ate them up at and where we came back at, because in the regular season game, it was a pretty good game, especially in the second half when we came back. It took us a second to get rolling on offense. But we started using the zone read and zone option and using Jalen's legs on the perimeter, using it on the edge guys, those outside linebackers and edge guys on the perimeter of Tampa's defense and putting them in space. I need to see more of that this game. I definitely believe we got action. I see a 24-21 type ball game. And I'm picking my team. I can see it going either way. It's Brady, but it should be a good ball game.
I like how you always ride with your squad. I even be picking against mine. I be trying to keep it real. I think all these games are going to be close games. I don't really see any blowout fashions outside of maybe one game. But I think the Eagles-Bucks game is going to be a close game. I got Bucks squeaking it out. Just because they still have injuries. They have weaknesses. They had a couple guys out last week on that D-line. So I believe it's playoff Brady and that team, in a weird way, them losing AB might have brought them closer together. I saw their whole team posting a kumbaya on IG, throwing shade at AB. So they may, I got Bucks winning, but I believe it's going to be a close game. Bucks by 4. Next, we got, I think, my favorite game of the weekend outside of my squad. That Bills Patriots going to be lit. Top 2 game of the weekend. 49ers Cowboys. They haven't met up since 1994. Who you rolling with, D-Lane?
Team of the 80s versus the team of the 90s, man. This will be a good one, but I'm going with the Niners. And it's really for one specific reason. Who hired Kyle Shanahan to be the offensive coordinator in Atlanta?
Dan Quinn.
Who's the Dallas Cowboys defensive coordinator?
Dan Quinn.
Inside his division, Kyle, which team does he own? And we was just talking about him earlier. Who's their head coach?
The Rams.
And who's their head coach?
Sean McVay.
Who's Sean McVay learned the game from?
John Gruden.
Kyle and his dad as well. You remember in Washington when he was in Washington. Yeah, but Gruden as well. As well.
They all run the same shit, though.
No, facts. And they all run the same shit, but when you see it, every time he plays the Rams, and really just general period throughout his head coaching career, what we always tip our hat on towards Kyle is exploiting the weaknesses on the defense, right? What the defense is bad at. I believe he's going to eat up Dan Quinn. I think he's going to eat Dan Quinn alive. And I think it's personal beefs, eh? Because I'm going to keep it one. I don't give a if I'm an offensive guy, and even me being a defensive guy, I would be pissed at my own defense for what we did in the Super Bowl. I gave you a 28-3 lead. We're supposed to bring that home. I believe Kyle about to eat. It's gonna be a good game though, and I got the Niners, but I believe if Kyle see that one high look, that cover three, the Niners might run for two. They might run for 200. Oh, I hope Trent Williams play. Oh my God, I can't wait for Trent. If Trent play, he gonna put Mike on the chokehold. I can't wait to see that one.
So you think blowout?
I'm not gonna say blowout. I think it's gonna be a good game. But I got the Niners.
Okay, I got the Cowboys, and it's only because of one reason. Nothing to do with none of that. Just based off watching the Niners here, outside of the Bengals, which went to OT, they've lost to any team that had a top 10 passing offense. Even lost to the Titans. You saw AJ Brown took over. I believe there's going to be a lot of problems having to deal with CeeDee Lamb in the slot. You saw again with the Rams, one guy was beating them. And that's the only really have one true weapon. Odell's obviously a deep threat right now, but he's not an every down player right now with that offense. So I got the Cowboys winning a close one just because of the ability to consistently pass the football and how many weapons they have. The biggest weakness on the Niners is that is their DBs, and also the Cowboys have a O-line to match that Niners pass rush. In the second piece, I believe the Cowboys, the run defense is ranked 14th. It's a little shaky. It's not top notch. But they have players that can completely destroy the game. And I believe the Niners, they do a really good job of stopping inside and interior D linemen and linebackers. They do a great job. If your top player is a middle linebacker or a D tackle, they do a great job of dominating them. Where they have trouble with is edge defenders.
Not that left side. Trent Dub still probably the best left tackle. Hey, stop it.
You're right. He only had a problem 1 year with all year. He was pretty stout, except when he played one team. That boy Chandler Jones got 3 sacks on him this year. But again, that's Chandler Jones' special.
And that's in division. That's an in division. He sees them twice a year.
So, they lost twice to the Cardinals. I'm just looking at that, and so and the Cowboys are at home, so I'm rocking with that. And to me, this is a weird matchup, but I'm excited to see. Over and under one pick for Trayvon Diggs. Jimmy gonna give him one.
Jimmy gonna give him action. I wouldn't bet on it because Jimmy gonna give him action. He gonna have a shot at it.
But sure. I'm really excited for this game though. Because it's, everyone knows about the Niner Cowboy rivalry in the 90s. I think it's gonna be a really, really close game. I believe the Niners will be able to run the ball. I just think the downfall is when other team keeps throwing and scoring. It gets at a point you can't run the ball because the drive it gets too long, and I think that's the only
pick the Cowboys. All right, we're gonna see about the bet on that one.
I think because you hate the Cowboys, you don't like them, so you don't look at anything positive. So
I don't like the Niners either, though. Shit,
I don't have a problem.
But not as much as I hate the Cowboys. I don't like the Niners.
I don't like Kyle.
I don't like the Niners, but I hate the Cowboys. So
I like Debo. I love the way Fred Warner plays. I'm a big.
You don't give that coaching relationship no credence between Kyle and Dan Quinn. I believe Kyle's going to exploit the hell out of that cover 3 defense.
Why don't you look at it both ways? That Dan knows him well too. Forget who hired him.
He does. Yeah. But I'm saying off the history. That's why I went to the Rams and McVay. Off the history of Kyle and guys that he didn't work closely with, Kyle whips ass. That's all I'm saying. And he knows how his greatest strength is exploiting weaknesses on your defense. Cover 3 got some holes in it, and I believe he's gonna eat it up, man. I just believe he's gonna expose Dan Quinn. Because like you said earlier about the run defense for the Cowboys, they're not very stout, and I think overall the Cowboys are actually only like 20th ranked overall in defense, but they're like top in third down defense and top in turnovers.
Yep.
I know for a fact all week Kyle I think is hammering home to run the ball. Jimmy don't. It's gonna be similar to that Green Bay game from when they went to the Super Bowl. He might throw 7 to 10, 15 times. We handing this rock off. We're running it right down their throat.
It's gonna be exciting. But I just think it's not gonna be a game where they can just run the ball for a whole drive like against the Rams. And I think that's what I keep removing. I remove the Rams games from what I watch with the Niners. Just like I'm not going to judge the whole coach season off them playing the Jags. Certain teams own certain teams. Like the Saints right now. The Saints own the Bucks. Right?
Bucks, yeah.
Right. And so where I judge the Niners, the best win of the season was that Bengal game in OT against the Burrow Bengals away. That was the most impressive win of the season for the Niners for me. Tennessee Titans, that was y'all laid an egg. Green Bay Packers, Cardinals twice. You lost to the Seattle Seahawks twice. And remember, these are teams that will light your ass up if they have to. People forget, yes, Derrick Henry with the Titans, but they got boys with Julio and AJ. The reason they have the number 1 seed without Derrick. And so I remember those games where y'all got lit the fuck up. Okay? And Burrow's worst game of the season came against the Niners. Why? Niners pass rush tore his ass up. Reason I think my Raiders might have a shot. But anyways, that's my only reason with the Niners. I just seen against pass teams, they struggled this year. Right? And remember, the Rams aren't a pass team. They have the ability to. They really want to run the ball. So, but that's where, I hope it's a shootout. I really think it could be a shootout. Last game of the weekend. Not last two. Weekend. Last two. Steelers Chiefs. This is the only game I think could be a complete, utter blowout. I got Chiefs big. I might put some money on it. But yeah, I got Chiefs big. Steelers, nice, happy story to make it. It took a lot of weird shit for them to make it. They're like, I think, out of all the teams in the playoffs, I mean, no disrespect to your Eagles, but Steelers, I mean, it's just whatever to me. Shout out to Mike. They made the playoffs because of Mike and that defense and a couple boys on that offense, but I got Chiefs big.
No, I got you. And I see it the same way. I believe this game can go one or two ways. Chiefs big or Chiefs in a close one because it's a defensive battle and the Chiefs offense is not hitting on all cylinders. But I believe it's more so the latter, the first option I said. Why? Because at the end of the day, how have teams been making the Chiefs get out of character? By playing too high, deep, keeping everything in front of them, making Pat check down. And Pat's been better at that the last few weeks, taking what the defense gives them. But at the end of the day, that's just not the Steelers. They come after you. They like a lot of zone blitzes. They don't run a lot of too high stuff like that. So I believe they get blown out.
I agree. And it's it's gonna be Ben's last game, but everyone knows I expect Ben, the player on the field, being off the field is fuck you. So Ben the rapist. All right. Last game.
Last one.
Cardinals, Rams. I'm going to go ahead and step on it. I got the Cardinals, and this is crazy for me to say this because most people know, to me, Cliff is in the white boy genius fraud category too. But I believe Kyler Murray in that pass rush is too much. I'm excited for this game because I've been waiting to see Kyler Murray in the playoffs. It's going to be a big game. I can't wait for it. And I have an underrated performance. Watch out for AJ Green. He always makes tough catches when they need it most.
Man, hey, the rubber match. This is a tough one. I think this is probably the closest, the toughest game for me to take. I like both teams. They both got good things going for themselves. I'm probably leaning with the Cardinals as well. Why? I believe both defenses are good, solid defenses. I believe the Rams of course, they got more blue chippers when you just look at the defense on paper. But I believe the Cardinals play more consistent backbone defense. They get off the field more consistently. I believe you have more of a chance to turn the ball over on Stafford than you do Kyler. And at the end of the day, I trust Kyler a little more than I trust Matthew Stafford. I'm gonna go with the Cardinals. My X factor for this game, Rondale Moore, if he's back and healthy.
Ooh, I like it. I like it. And in a weird way too, I feel like the Rams losing to the Niners was kind of depleting for them. Like they would still win the division title. They were this game, would have been huge. They would have had
though they still won it because the Cardinals lost.
Yeah, but they would have had the bye.
Bye, yeah.
Or no, the 2 seed. My fault. They would have been playing your Eagles right now. Because they would remember the Bucks had.
It's only one seed. Yeah, it's only one seed they get the bye now.
Yeah, but right. I mean, if you're the Rams, who would you rather play, the Cardinals or Eagles? And especially with the Eagles having to fly all the way across the country. Yeah. So that's going to be an exciting game. Give me one upset for the weekend. Or no, not even one upset. Give me one team that could win 2 playoff games that no one would expect.
It's a toss-up out of 3 teams. It's a toss-up out of 3 teams for me. My Eagles, your Raiders, or the Bengals. Either one of them can win 2.
I appreciate you throwing my Raiders in there. It's really nice of you. I don't even believe that. But
matter of fact, I'm smoking rocks because y'all got to see the Chiefs in the next round, right?
No. Titans. So our schedule is kind of favorable. But
that's what I'm saying. Y'all can win too.
yeah, it's week by week.
Like, they like don't juice me up. Look.
Hey man, don't juice me. I've been on a high since that game on Sunday night in the playoffs, man. I want to say this: my one team that could make a run, win 2 games, and no one thought. I'm just gonna say the Joe Burrow Bengals. And it's only because I believe Joe got that magic. I was thinking about the Cards. It's just I don't trust Cliff in big spots. I just don't. I don't trust he's gonna make the right play call in big spots. But yeah, I got the Joe Burrow Bengals, and it's because of that favorable matchup. If they beat the Raiders, I believe they can beat the Titans. So, hey, well, I think we're on the same page.
Who you got going all the way, Zay? Who you got going all the way?
Oh, Chiefs out of the AFC. I got
who's your matchup? Chiefs
my dream matchup and my dream and heart and head. Chiefs Packers. At the end of the day, the cream will rise to the top, and that's what we've seen all year.
I like that in my heart of hearts as well, but I wouldn't mind a rematch. That's how I feel on it. I wouldn't mind a rematch just because I want my boy Pat to get his league back.
Oh yeah. Oh, that would be nice. But either or, I'll say this: if Pat gets a win against Tom or A-Rod, that will add to the resume because the resume ain't too pretty with just being Jimmy G.
Yeah,
and I also heard him like, hold on, we ain't playing Jimmy G. You losing to Tom or A-Rod, so that would be a great story either way.
Mm-hmm.
So then that will lead to your conversation. When ain't perfect, Pat, is it getting done? So we're gonna see. Aside of playoff, I'm gonna leave this last stat that I just saw tweeted out by one of the PFF, them niggas. It said Mad Max posted the highest pass rush win rate in Week 11 of the Bengals. He got pressure on 61% of his pass rushes. The next highest in a game was Parsons at 28%. So he gonna have a shot to disrupt it. Let's see what the Bengals plan is for him. That's all I got. Anything else, D-Lane?
All I got, man. That's all I got. Good pie for y'all. We will be back this week since we got game Saturday. Let's try to knock it out either Saturday morning or Friday with our picks. Even though we just did it, huh? No, we just did our picks. I'm tripping.
No, I just want to talk more about. Let's talk more about the coaching cycle this week. In this week, we'll talk about the coaching cycle.
And we forgot to talk about. Did we ever talk about AB in that interview? We'll do that Friday then too. Yeah, let's do that Friday on live.
Yeah. Kumbaya.
All right, y'all. Yeah, kumbaya.
We play for keeps, Cuddy. You ain't heard about the Huddle fight with no with D-Lane. We tryna get it off the muscle. Walters caught the pick and ran it back without a tussle. Blow the whistle, coach is trying to get back to the huddle.